I apologize for the 3 videos, guys. The last one cut off sooner than I was expecting. I'll keep this one very, very short and just show you guys how I want to do the petals. So in the last video, I had said I wanted to start here. I'm going to do 2 ways to do some petals. One is going to be very, very simple. I'm going to start here, make a sketch on this plane. Look at the top so I know where I'm drawing. And I'm going to use this inscribed polygon to make some funky shapes. So you start with the radius, make it not too much bigger than our pot, and then I can kind of decide how many sides I want this to have. How many petals, I guess you could describe it. So we'll do this. Looks wonderful. We're going to extrude right from here, and we're just going to flip the direction. Boom. Right down. Again, this is a case where you can say, you know what? I view each of these corners as a petal. And this is your flower. That's awesome. I have no qualms with that. You could do another loft where you could make another plane and then loft it so that it actually is coming out in a unique way. But I want to show you guys what I did in my other flower. So we'll call this one good for now, and then I want to show you the other one I made. Yeah, this guy. So you can see you'll be able to see I did a pretty similar process, kind of starting with a basic circle as my first sketch. This one I actually did try to truncate. As you can see how it's kind of in different chunks. If you get really close, you can see how it's in a couple different pieces to be able to control the loft, so I could keep that as an equilateral triangle. But I want to talk about what's going on the top here. So this up here started off, if I can find it, so I can orient myself. I went to the front plane, so I was here, and then I drew a sketch. So you guys can see where that lies. And to do it, I use a number of tools, so I just drew a rectangle here. Actually, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to hide. Well, let me hide my extrude. Maybe not. Oh, yeah, I can. I can hide some of these parts here so you can get a better view of what I'm talking about. So I can go down to this part area where all of these flower petals lie and just start to clear some out so it's a little easier to see. Awesome. Yeah, here we go. This is a great way to look at it. So I drew, now I'm going to take some of the, who did I miss? Here we go. 2 and 5. Nope. This moves so fast. 6. Cool. So you can see I drew a rectangle here, and then I drew some arcs. So if we go into this sketch, you can see I drew some arcs here, and then I offset them, use the offset tool, so I'll delete these right now for a sec. So you can see a very basic outline, and then I offset them using this here. So I want to offset you in this direction, like so, maybe a little less. I want to take you, offset, great. And you could again, and now, oh, it connected them. That's cool. That's a cool thing. So it connected them. So now I want to bring them together. So I'm going to hit check. Looks great. Oop. Go back into that. I didn't want to exit the sketch. So now this is where things can get a little funky. So I wanted to, because we're making this in CAD software, why not give the petals big holes in the middle? Why not? It's artsy. So what I'm going to do is, so I can trim this away, I want to connect this to this, and you do that with the coincident. So I'm going to coincident this. You even zoom into that, and it'll snap together just like that. Then I go back to our favorite trim tool, trim that away. Wonderful. Now how I did the rest was then I extruded just the outside. So you can see it's way too big, so let's call that 0.1 inches. Check. Nice and thin, but really not organic, right? It's very boxy, and I'm not a big fan of it. So what I did next was then I started extruding it. And I'm actually going to delete. Oh no, sorry, I meant to say we're going to start doing the fillet. How the fillet works, I just selected a bunch of different things, and I'll redo it now, as long as this doesn't freak out on me. Delete that. Cool. So I'm going to click the fillet tool, and I'm going to select every single, and it's going to get angry for a second. We select every single edge on this to give it all very, very rounded. You could select a couple of them. You could alternate. Again, this is where it just gets kind of fun. You get kind of artistic with it. I'm not going to do anything with the ones on the far side, but I have all of these, and because it's only 0.1 inch thick, you can't have a fillet that's bigger than that, right? Because it's saying what the radius is, so the radius can't be bigger. So I'm going to try 0.05, see how it likes that. Awesome. It takes, there are no red lines. You can see it kind of rounding all out. Cool. Then the next step is making this circular pattern here. So I'll restart that as well. Let's get a nice isometric view. And so here's linear pattern. We're going to go select circular pattern. What do we want to do? We want to do all of part 2. So that's the entity we're going to pattern. Down here in the parts, it's a little bit easier than selecting all of the kind of features you've used. Select parts here, and the axis. Axis, we're going to dig in here. And so this will be slightly off center, but we're going to try to take that axis, if it'll let us. Here we go. Yep, take that axis, go to the entity, select part 2. Wonderful. Now you can see, now it's just a matter of how many do we want and what angle. Maybe the flower only has petals on 1/2. Only has 1/2. Sure, let's try that. But there's a lot of them. Let's say there's 16. It's going to be really close. Might even get angry. No, that looks cool. Awesome. So I'm going to say check, equal spacing. You can make it not equal spacing. And I don't even know how it will respond to that. Oh, not well. We're going to keep equal spacing. You can even change the transparency of it. If you wanted for a reason to highlight a certain part of your design, you can make the rest transparent. We'll make them very opaque. Hit check, and it should bring us into the rest of the... Uh-oh. Hoping for the rest of the design. Oh, maybe we have to. There you go. Voila. Ooh, it didn't quite connect, but that's an issue you can see with how I had placed it. It looks like it actually cut off a portion of it, but that's okay. That's kind of the idea, though. Like, this would be even with that gap, totally acceptable. If I wanted to fill it up, say, okay, I want to extrude this more. Not that much. You can go up to next, and it'll extrude, at least should, up to the surface, but it's not. So we're just going to say blind. Or one more try. I'm going to try up to part. Select this part here. Nope, doesn't like it. So when you can do blind, it doesn't care. It's just looking at a distance. So we'll do 0.02. See what that looks like. Way too small. So while we play around, awesome. It connects. As I said, that is perfectly sufficient for what we're talking about today. So good luck, guys. These videos took a little longer than I thought, but I'll make sure to remind in the lecture notes to fast forward or to put them on a higher speed on YouTube to get through faster. But I think it's a fun activity. You get to mess around with a lot of the tools that I think are most useful. And I encourage you guys to try others if you want to. Mirrors also pretty good if you want to do a more precise pattern kind of situation. And there are other fun things in here too. Good luck, guys. And again, please, please, please let me know if you need any help. Thank you.